to advise the fire department that whatever was on fire behind that leak oil was fully engulfed.
At what point did you think there may be hazardous materials involved?
It's always a concern, when you have a train. It obviously where the derailment occurred, where the train was located, the time of night, it was dark, the fire. There was no possible way to determine what was, on fire and what cars were derailed. So obviously that's a concern. I personally did not know that there was any hazardous material chemicals. I assumed when the initial 1 mile evacuation was ordered that involved chemicals. Obviously, that's not going to be for a fire. That's not going to be for an explosion. That's going to be for chemicals. So I assumed it wasn't until late that night, early next morning, that I did learn myself that there was actually, what was contained on those cars.
And what actions did you take when you realized that there was a train involved with the explosion? Did you seek out any personnel from the train at that point?
Correct. When we first realized that there was a train, attempted to find the engine car, so I could, determine what was actually on those cars. Obviously, the fire department was arriving on scene. I sent an officer to the west side of town. I attempted to locate the engine on the other side of the tracks.
And you had mentioned previously that you initiated that first evacuation of residents. Can you tell us how you implemented that, why, and how that was communicated?
Correct. The tracks are paralleled by East Clark and Taggart Street. After the fire department arrived on scene, there was some time had passed. At one point, I noticed that the fire was spreading on the cars. It was starting to spread west. The cars were starting to pop off on fire. And I radioed one of our patrolmen, and I said, we need to discuss getting the residents out of East Taggart and Clark streets. Their backyards line those tracks, so that, that fire, if those cars continue to catch fire, that we would be able to get them out of their residences. And then we had Columbiana Police Department and we had the State Highway Patrol arrive to assist us on those two streets. I assigned 2 of our officers to Taggart Street. I had radioed our dispatcher to call out additional of our personnel. And then I brought some of our personnel with me on Clark Street, and we started going door to door to evacuate those 2 streets at that particular time.
And was this also communicated through the incident command on scene?
As far as did I communicate it with them?
Yes, that the evacuation was occurring.
My personal radio that I had, I was unable to communicate with the fire department. I do not know if they were aware we were doing that at that time or not. I don't know if they could monitor that or dispatch relayed that to them. That I am unaware of. And
can you tell me what kind of training have you had in the past, and how has that training prepared you for this type of event?
I spent 20 years with the Special Weapons and Tactics, the SWAT team in this county. I've been on the job 30 years. I've had extensive trainings in, various, areas of law enforcement. However, I don't think one specific training would actually cover an immediate evacuation of, which ultimately became, a 1 mile radius of a town. I think that just comes with, common sense, experience, and just being able to react on the fly.
Thank you. I'm going to turn it back to Mr. Lloyd.
Thank you, Ms. Lake. Chief Jones.